Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video in programming the finite element method using MATLAB. In this video, we're going to continue our efforts in generating the finite elements as we are in the controller, and we are still struggling with the command that is generate finite elements, and we are still here, create FEM objects from str nodes. We are still here. Now, we have created our master nodes, we have created our slave nodes because there is a support. But what is missing is the element that represents the support. This is missing, and this shall be done in this video. We're going to add a spring between the master node and the slave node. And before I start, I want to quickly give you a reminder that this is part of a video series about the finite element method, which I'll be linking on the top right. And specifically, there is another playlist that only talks about the programming, which I will also be linking on the top right. Take a look at those if you want more context of what I'm doing. Of course, as per usual, the entire code is available to my dear channel members. They can download it for free. But if you're not a channel member, then don't worry, because every single line of code is going to be written in front of you, so you won't miss anything. You only have to write along. So with that being said, and without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, now we are gonna add us some str_springs. We're gonna add us some springs. Basically, we're gonna construct us some FEMBarSprings. I said str, that's my mistake. I want to add FEMBarSprings. Now, to be able to add FEMBarSprings, I need to keep tabs on the ID of each individual element of those FEMBars. Now, I'm going to keep one ID system for the FEMBars regardless of its type. So if it's a spring or a beam, it's going to have the same ID pool. So I'm going to keep one ID pool for both. Now, before I can do anything, I must go to the controller and establish the system. So in the controller, I'll go on the top, and here I'm going to define me first of all an ID system, FEMBarID. Notice I'm going to use this FEMBarID for both springs and for beams. I will try keep one storage system for both beams and springs. This, in deeper programming languages, is called polymorphism. I did not do any inheriting, and I'm not planning to do this. So I hope that I can somehow escape with this because of MATLAB's way of doing things. This might be a source of error. Maybe. We need to check this out during our implementation, because I cannot use polymorphism for objects that have different classes. I don't know if MATLAB will let me do this or not. There's only one way to find out, which is to try. I'll have one storage system for the springs and the bars, beams, and later I might change that. Now I have my storage system and I have my ID system. So now it comes to the point where I need to define that stuff. So here, I'm going to go to the line here, and I'm going to steal some of its definition logic, because the line needs node and node, and the spring needs FEMnode and FEMnode. So I think I can copy this and steal some of its logic. So I'll copy this. I did not check for duplicate lines, or did I? I did check for duplicate line. Why is this a to-do list? Let me remove that very quickly. Okay, let me copy this here and paste it here, and then call this FEMBarSpring, and this is going to be called add FEMBarSpring. And here, of course, I need FEMnode and FEMnode. Okay, now here I'm going to check out every single one of those FEMBars they are called, by the way. So I'm going to switch this to FEMBars, and this is an existing bar. And I want to check if the existing bar.FEMnode1's ID is equal to FEMnode1, and if the existing bar.FEMnode2 is equal to node2. I'm just trying to change things here. Let me just quickly do that. Let's see what I've done here. So it's going to search for the FEMBars. It's going to select me one FEMBar. It checks if the FEMnode1 of it has the same ID as the given, and FEMnode2 if it has the same ID as the given. If it's that, then it returns it, because we have it. Otherwise, it will check if it's the vice versa. So FEMnode2 is 1 and 1 is 2, then it will also give it back. Otherwise, it will define it. So here, I would need to go for FEMBarID, because I have an ID system for that. and here I will take it, and here I will call this the FEMBarSpring, and call in the constructor FEMBarSpring. That's fantastic. This is not going to be node, it's going to be FEMnode. So that's FEMnode, and that's FEMnode. And now I need to store it by going to FEMBars this time and store it into the FEMBars, this FEMBarSpring. Okay. Now here, I could program a refresh system inside the FEMBar. I think I should. Maybe I shouldn't let him pass those things. Maybe I should calculate them. I will have a debugging session later for the results. It's really annoying for me now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically not ask him to give me all those things and calculate them myself. Now, how do I calculate them myself? I can go to the FEM line, str line, basically, and copy the refresh function, because the refresh function does everything for me. In the FEMBarSpring, I'm gonna, instead of this, I'm gonna declare object.refresh, and I need to declare a function for that. So here I'm gonna say function refresh of the object. And here, I don't need to assign those things. Let me comment this first. And I need to basically put the logic of refreshing here, instead of me calculating everything in the outside, because the other option is to calculate everything here and assign it, which is not a user-friendly way. We're trying to use the divide and conquer method, so refreshing should be part of the FEMBarSpring logic rather than the controller, because the FEMBarSpring can and should refresh itself. It should not be refreshed by an external actor like controller. So here in the str line, I'm going to go to the str line, take the object.refresh, and copy the entire logic, and basically go back to FEMBarSpring and paste the logic here. Now the line logic, let me Control A and push Control I to kind of indent it correctly. What's this? Yeah. Now the logic of the line is an overkill in comparison to the bar, because for example, I don't need the center of gravity of the FEMBar. That's not a case. I need Vx, Vy, and Vz and the length. So now here, of course, node doesn't exist. Those are all called FEM nodes. So let me put here FEM, and let me just copy this and put it FEM everywhere. And here that's FEM node 1. I'm going to copy it and paste it everywhere. There's an epsilon here. Oh, wait. Oh my, I hate this. I changed the epsilon in one location, so I need to change it everywhere. That's not how it's supposed to be. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is an example for bad coding, because you can see the epsilon has been used here with a different value, so I need to unify the values. That's not how it's supposed to be. I should have one epsilon and just reference it everywhere. That's bad programming. This is not how it's supposed to program. Because you see, now I'm in maintenance hell, because I have to deal with it. But for now, I will, and here, this is going to be FEM epsilon, because we're more accurate here. And it's going to be, let me just copy it from the controller for now. Copying is bad, because if I change it here, it doesn't change there. But let's go here to the controller, and the FEM epsilon, and copy it, and paste it here. This is bad programming. You have seen it, it just bit me. But we are going to deal with it. So now in the refresh, here, this is not str line, this is FEMBar epsilon, and it's called the thing FEM epsilon, right? Wait, is it FEM epsilon? FEMBar, oh, it's FEMBarSpring, which means I have FEMBarBeam later to deal with. I will continue for now. This, I will pay the price of that later. Okay, fine, let's just continue. We live to learn, right? So this is FEMBarSpring. Now when I push the dot button, I should see it. There we go, and I can use it everywhere. So this is here, Vy, Vz, that's true so far. Everything seems to be fine. I've explained this in the line video before. There's something missing. Let's see. So Vx, Vy, and Vz are calculated. Length is not calculated. I can ask it here to get the length by saying simply length equals object norm of object.vx. Now notice that this works because I'm fishing out the length before Vx gets normalized, because it gets normalized by dividing by its own length. So I just fish it out in time before it gets normalized. Okay, so I think that's the way of defining FEMBarSprings. I will come back to visit this. But for now, we're defining FEMBarSpring, and we're also calculate only by giving two nodes, and we're calculating everything else like Vx, Vy, Vz, length, and so on, from the refresh function that we repurposed from the str line. We changed some stuff because not everything is needed, but for now, I think that's a good point. So let's go back to the controller and see what happened. In the controller now, remember, we are still in the generation of the finite elements. We are still here. So we are still in this function. We are still here. And we created the master node, we created the slave node, and now we want to create the FEMBarSpring. Now let me just push Control and comma, and because I just collapsed everything, and just decollapse to see. I have add FEMBarSpring, and now it works. It should. So now I can go back to my generate thing here. In my create objects from str nodes, which is this one, we reached this position where we are generating or willing to generate a FEMBar. So how do we do that? It's not really that hard. Allow me to show you. First of all, let's get the support. So to get the support, I'm gonna go to my node, the str node that started all this headache, .support. So I just say here support equals node.support. I am sure that it exists because I made an existence check 3 or 4 videos ago. So now I want to define a FEMBar. So I say here FEMBarSpring, and this equals add or object, the controller, dot add FEMBarSpring. I think it was capital letter, right? Yeah, it's capital letter. It's expecting from me Fem node 1 and Fem node 2. And Fem node 1 is the master node. Fem node 2 is a slave node. So here, Fem master node and Fem slave node. Okay? Fantastic. Now I defined my FEMBarSpring, but what I haven't defined is the stiffnesses. Because look, those are its properties. I defined those things, I added those things, but I haven't defined the stiffnesses. So let's define the stiffnesses. FEMBar.k, FEMBarSpring.kux is going to equal the support.kux. I just need to make sure that this is how it's written. Let's see. Yeah, this is how it's written here. And in the support, it's the same. Okay, fantastic. So let's go to controller and basically rinse and repeat for all the 6 degrees of freedom. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And here, that's gonna KUY, KUZ, KRX, KRY, and KRZ. And this is gonna be KUY, KUZ, KRX, and KRY, and KRZ. Yep, that's that. So I think we have yet again reached another milestone, which we can stop here. Now I should do a debugging session about this. I think I should do this next time. Let me just try for now very quickly. If I run, okay, nothing explodes. That's good news. And if I go to the controller, I still haven't done anything with the viewer. It doesn't show those elements. But if I go to the controller at least, double click on it to see if it defined FEMBars. So let's double click on it. Here in the FEMBars, where is it? Where is it? There we go. Yeah, I have 2 FEMBarSprings. Fantastic. So I think we're good. Of course, that's FEMBarSpring 1 with all its stuff. And the other one is FEMBarSpring 2. I think we are good to go. Are we good to go? So, okay, I think we have reached another milestone where we can stop. So I want to stop now. And before I finish, I want to give a FEMBarSpring sized shout out to my dear channel members in the contributor level and the helper level whose names are going to be shown on the screen. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, as their support of the channel is priceless to me and enables me to provide you with videos hopefully on time and with a certain quality I try to achieve, and for that I am forever thankful. In the end, I hope that you enjoyed the video and you found it beneficial. If you have enjoyed the video, then please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and so on, especially subscribing because it helps increase the reach of my channel. As per usual, this is the Civil Engineering Essentials channel, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.